My name is Zach Sheldon, aka Maniac. I was born at the Buffalo Zoo, and if it's Trainwreck Sports, I'm probably involved.
I have Mr. Zach Sheldon. What is up, my man? How you doing?
I don't know why I did a 2-finger salute.
You did a double.
I was feeling it. Yeah, I was feeling pumped up. I'm here, in the Southtowns. So Southtowns is always behind enemy lines to me. I'm a Northtowns guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
I want to breathe some fire for Bella. Thank you
Seriously.
so much for Bella for giving us this
Party area right here.
giving us this
private
party. Giving
area.
us this party.
Little private party here with the Moneyball boys.
Yeah. So I think the first question everybody wants to know about Trainwreck Sports, man, is what is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Oh, that's a very fair question. I have to go. Here's the thing. If I'm only having one bowl.
One bowl. I'm talking one bowl.
Yeah, one bowl to end them all.
Yeah.
I would say Captain Crunch with the berries as an option. Now, obviously, I want the predominant, like, Captain Crunch, like that yellow, whatever it is. I want more of those than the berries, but I want the berries thrown in. Now, if I'm talking about, like, I need one cereal for the rest of time, I'm gonna go with Honey Nut Cheerios. That's my base. That's my home field. That's my living
That
room.
is the second Honey Nut Cheerios I've heard this week.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
we're here. We're here.
I had a pro ball player on from the Blue Jays the other day. He said Honey Nut Cheerios hands down for the rest of his life.
Oh, yeah.
And he gave me a whole reason why. It was the sweetness with the dry. Like he had a
There is something with Honey Nut Cheerios where it feels like you're getting candy. I don't know what it is.
It feels like home too, right?
Yeah,
it's like the old
for
school,
sure.
you had it when you were a kid. I've been on a frosted shredded wheat grind.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, the oat milk in there. And
Listen, I'm not aging. I think we're right around the same age. My dad is a big frosted.
No, you're aging me.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
46
aging.
years old.
I'm not aging. We're right in the same nook. Don't
You're-
worry.
you're
We're in
like-
the same
you're like
nook.
29.
We're in the same demo.
You're like 29. I don't think we are.
America would look at us in the same demo.
I don't think they would.
Just target audience. Target.
I got a
audience.
Wu-Tang tattoo, man.
That's right. I need to up my tattoo game. I think.
I got a guy.
Okay. Well, who's your guy?
My guy is, shout out Tommy Mims, man. I've been
Okay.
dragging on him for sponsorship for a little while. So
All right,
there it is.
Tommy.
Off the beaten path.
See, that's a free spot here back in the party room at Bella. What the hell are you doing?
What are you doing?
Hop on the money.
What are you doing, Mims?
I do have a guy too, but like I think I would do my dog. I want a tattoo of like my dog, like as like leaping over
In
a
action.
rainbow, leaping over a rainbow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So an action shot of the dog. You want every color of the rainbow in there?
No, I just need them to know that he's leaping over a rainbow. That if you could achieve that with his like whatever you want, your artistic integrity, go ahead. I don't need a full draw.
All right.
The dog is the important.
The dog is the important part.
for
What kind of
sure.
dog we dealing with?
Black golden doodle, Prince Philip.
I dig the name.
Yeah.
A
So
black golden doodle.
yeah. So
Isn't
this
that
is
kind of a contradiction there? A black.
well, believe me, people are crazy. So, again, you have a golden retriever and you have a poodle mix.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, along the way, you have a dark black poodle with like such genes that it wakes over, and now you have a black golden doodle.
It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a majestic figure.
I think Trainwreck Sports has become synonymous with Buffalo and all things Buffalo, not just really in the sports realm of things. Tell me the backstory, man. How did we get started? And I know you've told the story a lot, but let's tell it again.
No, for sure. Me and like just some friends, my friend Al, Elbers, they had this idea and they're like, you know what? Buffalo sports are such a train wreck that, let's just like cover them from that angle that like it's always going to end up like not good. Something's going to go wrong. The wheels are going to fall off. It's going to be a disaster. So they started doing these podcasts. I think they did the first one the day of the dildo being tossed on the field by the Bills. So I think,
glorious day.
Yeah, glorious day. Then they did another one where they got the dildo tosser. So they actually got the dildo tosser on the podcast. So I'll never forget. I think it was 2016, I want to say, maybe 2015. I'm blurring right now.
Yeah.
But like Yahoo Sports was picking it up that like Trainwreck Sports had the dildo tosser on the podcast. Like just crazy headlines that you never thought you would see.
Yeah.
So Elbers, Al, and this other guy, Andy, they're just dominating. And I'm just like, yeah, like I would love to be a part of it. Like, join in, like, again, at that initial trajectory up, I think they were like, 7 to 10 podcast episodes in at that point. And from there, it was just, a great mesh of guys like doing what we loved, doing what we like, talking what we cared about. we did all kinds of crazy stuff. Like we had, you know, Elbers on Beat the Champ on WBBZ with the bowling. If you're familiar with, by the way, I guess got brought back recently. Shout out Paul Peck. I don't bowl, but I can throw like a roll, 160, 170. Not terrible. Like, you know, you're like, but yeah, like, or wheels could also fall off, like 110. Oh yeah, for sure. I play for keeps when it comes to bowling.
Man, plays for keeps.
But I will say I'm not like one of those who like curves it. I just roll it straight at the front. I call it the Pominville because if you remember, just go right at the goalie and just shoot.
Oh, so your style's the Pominville.
Yeah, that's like I'm going right in. Yeah.
Now are Albers in the crew? They're still involved.
No longer involved. So this was 9 years ago.
Okay.
So, you know, just everything in life has come up since then, whether it's like starting families, whether it's growing up, whether it's focusing on like professional assets. There's been all kinds of stuff where certain people have like fallen off, certain people fallen. We've had people not contribute as much and then come back and be big contributors because just like obviously the energy and the tempo is always there. But at the end of the day, at the core of it, it's always about just doing stuff we cared about. Like it started with the Bills, it started with the Sabres, started with UB. Shout out UB because they give us, you know how key access is like to any of these events, any of these backgrounds.
UB has been phenomenal. They've been phenomenal.
Shout out John Fuller, shout out Boone Enzer, shout out Sarah Trinelli, shout out that whole shout out the athletic department.
I will say this with UB, they have been so gracious to Moneyball through the last year, you know, just with not only media access, but getting me lined up at that Buffalo, you know, where you were at that Sports Hall of Fame with
Grant. Oh, that was up. So now this is the funniest thing because I saw you there. Now this is just me being like, this is completely interpretation. I thought you were like grunts that were like hanging out with them. Dude, I walked up and you two were just shoulder to shoulder and you were chatting it up while like Mike Harrington was like listen, I know I shit on Mike Harrington like every chance I get, but he was there and being a professional answering questions, but he was just being like, so when you're getting put in, how do you feel about that? He was in this, and your vibe was just so much more like, dude, like I couldn't hear the exact words because I was even just like so nervous about asking my '69 Hall of Fame question.
Right.
But literally, like
bouncing back, thank you, because that's a big compliment.
Oh, dude, but I'm just saying, like, it was so funny. Then, like, I saw it, and I like, and we crossed paths, and you're like, yeah, no, I was just there interviewing. I'm like, what? Like, that was so crazy. So yeah, bizarre vibes. Yeah, great times at Buffalo Hall of Fame. That's a great event. Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame induction. Shout out to the inductees. That was a great.
Let me interlude with a quick story for that. My buddy Ryan Stang, he's a good friend.
Oh, shout out Stang.
You know Stanger?
Great guy.
Dear friend.
Ball, literally.
He's a great dude, man. Known him for years, everything he's involved with. So he was running the whole charity auction. And I see, you know, a Nolan Ryan, that picture where he's bloodied. I think it was after he got in a fight or he beat up somebody that charged the mound. I bid the thing up. He's like, all kinds of people are going to want this action, right?
Sorry, let me rewind. It was a poster?
It was like a sign poster.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Wasn't crazy expensive, but I put a bid that was realistic that I thought like something.
Yeah, that you got a shot.
Well, no, I didn't want it. It was like I was trying to do. You know when you're on the spot and you're like, So I'm like, yeah. So I low bid it. I won that. I'm the proud owner. And a no certificate of authenticity Yogi Berra ball.
Okay.
Way overpaid for that thing. I went on eBay after they're like $27. Shout out to Yogi. Breathe some fire for Yogi. Yogi's no longer with us. But this dude, I don't know how much he signed because his stuff just isn't.
Yogi Berra jumping into Don Larson's arms, probably the oldest video that I can remember that I could ever think about in my brain Rolodex.
That was.
But, like earlier than that, I don't have any like actual video that like counts as anything.
Back to the train wreck. I want to know, because obviously this is 9 years ago.
Yeah.
You and I could probably talk for 2 hours, so there'll be a lot of editing in this. But these other guys, you know, life begins and things happen.
Yeah, so then it was like a weekly podcast. Every so often we would do an event. Our first live event that like was on there, we did the April 2017 draft. We hosted a live show at Rock Bottom on Transit Road. We were fired up. Bills had the 10th pick. So we're like, perfect. So we'll do a live show like hour and a half. So we're drafting and we trade down from the 10th pick and we trade down to 27 and draft Trey White. But the thing is, for our production, like at that level in 2017, we weren't ready to be live for 4 hours. We were only ready to be live for an hour. So when we traded, it was a disaster, dude. Absolutely. Poor Elbers, we didn't even have like a tripod. He was holding the phone like a warrior, like a battle man.
How you fill in time? What were you doing?
We were just talking about everything that was going on, shouting at people. We also had my one friend Brad come and do a 3v1 flip cup battle against anyone who wanted to come up for any group of three.
Was he getting challengers?
Yeah. So from there, it just became like infectious that we were having fun when we were doing events. We wanted stuff to like go nuts, go crazy. So we were, continue to work towards that, whether it was like 2019, MAC championship in Cleveland. We were there the whole week, but like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the UB Bulls for all games. They swept the entire tournament. So we were there for the entire 6-0. It ended up being, for both teams, great. Like that was, that was ecstasy. Like that was so stupid. We literally booked an Airbnb that was like a mansion. Like for the 5 days, like they could have lost on Wednesday, and we would have been stuck in Cleveland for 4 days.
How many of you were involved at that point?
At that point, so again, it's like,
contributors, like the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, and then the contributors was like, 4 to 6 people.
Okay.
Who were like every day talking about like what we could do, everything, and that was the group that went obviously to like Cleveland. It goes to all these events. And it just became like if one of us was doing stuff like just incorporating a Trainwreck. Like I went to the Home Run Derby in 2019 in Cleveland.
That's cool.
Like so I sat on the porch, like I was like live streaming, it's like they're like hitting missiles. Like a Home Run Derby is insane. You ever been?
No, I haven't.
Okay, dude.
And is it worth it?
Dude, it's better than the All-Star game for sure. I went to both the same, and it was a great All-Star game where like they were going nuts. But dude, like just because first off, we started on the third baseline foul side, like highest upper deck.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, this is sick, but like we got to get down there.
Yeah.
We went to the
something tells me you got down there.
We went to the side porch in Jacobs Field. I don't know what the Cleveland field is called. Progressive Field.
Progressive, yeah.
Okay. Like the elevator porch where Rajai Davis hit the home run and
exactly what you're talking about.
So we're sitting right there. Dude, we could have been killed. Vladdy Jr. is just hitting like 110-mile-per-hour missiles,
and they
like right at us.
Those are like the line drive ones.
Yes. Oh, dude, they're coming in like right at you, dude. Like, so like, it's like exciting.
Did you net a few?
No, dude. I was diving for when one was coming in, it was like a missile status. I was thinking Band of Brothers, not like get my glove out, dude.
This turned into the Korean War.
Yeah. So I was diving for cover, but dude, oh my gosh, it was like sick. It was like that roller coaster thrill, like where something bad can happen, but like that makes it like the best thing ever. Yeah. You're a baseball guy. You got to go to the Home Run Derby.
All right. No, I'm glad that recommendation because I haven't, and it's something you always think about. Should I do that or not? Is it going to be worth it? Hearing that makes me want to go because it's not cheap, right?
Yeah. No, like it ended up being like.
Can you look at just the Derby and not
the thing was this was the year before COVID, so now everything is like 2x. Like, and I'm not even pointing to a cause. It's just I think I think after COVID, everyone's been so excited to go to events and it just hasn't worn off. It hasn't worn off.
100%. That's not just events. That's just life.
Everything. So I'm just thinking like it was like I think it was like 300, 350 for like those foul line tickets. The cheapest.
Okay, so that was just the Derby though, right?
Yeah. Then we were in Cleveland and we're like, so we did that as a fantasy baseball league. That's a detail I left out. We actually saved up money from the dues, which is crazy. So like we've been in the league like like a decade. Yeah. We saved up dues in the league and we paid to. So we had the Airbnb and we had the Home Run Derby paid for.
Okay.
So that was sick. So we're like awesome. And then we're like, okay, well we'll go party. We walked down there and like people were selling tickets for like 200, 250, and we're like, all right, well we'll just go. Like we're gonna go.
So you went to the actual All-Star game.
Yeah, went to the actual All-Star game. Like Trout, everyone, just sick.
Were you up in the bleeds though?
Yeah, behind home plate though, so pretty cool.
I've spoiled myself, man, and listen, I've been blessed enough, right? But I can't remember the last time I've had bad seats for something. Yeah. And I'll pay for them too. Yeah. Like it's not just these aren't gifted or anything. I'll pay for them.
Yeah.
But
I'm not a seat snob at all.
I'm a t-shirt snob too. But
the merch,
quality though.
Merch. Oh,
Buffalo logo. Shout out.
This is soft. I would wear this.
I love you too, Del. I love you too, Del. Del's a t-shirt snob. We had that conversation.
Well, of course, they all believe in quality.
But it's that it's got to fit right, or I won't even wear the thing. If you have a t-shirt, you know what I'm talking about, man.
See, so you're a vision guy when you're at the game because you're seeing it and that's how you interpret it. I'm like a vibes guy.
Okay.
I feel like there's almost an excitement to like when something happens in the far corner, like at the Bills game. Like Mark Andrews, the drop was like I saw it, but I didn't have the best view of it.
Right.
So it was like I got to experience it kind of like with the crowd noise going crazy, which like adds an aspect to me. Again, I'm not saying having a bad view at a game is like a great thing. I'm just pointing out how I like kind of interpret it.
Baseball's a little different because I feel like with baseball, I'm there for the experience, right? I'm gonna walk around PNC, so I'll spend half the time literally walking around the park. I'm one of those dudes, maybe flashing my age a little bit, where I'm actually going and checking out the museum stuff and all that in a ballpark.
No, that's sick. Dude, every ballpark, baseball, it's like how can they be different but all the same? Like that's part of the art of it, right?
And they all have like a real fresh take on how they want to, make theirs real exclusive, right?
Yeah.
And PNC did a phenomenal job with Clemente and involving all that, man, and bringing back like the 20s vibe. You a hockey guy? You dig hockey?
Like I watch hockey, but like I just can't I just can't stay awake for like an Oilers game.
The best hockey is the West
Avalanche.
Coast.
Yeah, of course. They're flying up and down the ice.
And I'll get a period in.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm lucky. But back to Trainwreck.
No, of course. Well, that's the thing. It's a universe that's ever evolving. So we were just doing all that for fun. COVID hits. We start focusing more on like the live shows, the live aspect, like streaming. We didn't have anything set up. So finally we used like StreamYard. Start doing it through there. That makes it a little bit easier to do shows.
Interception. Are you at this point streaming, but are you doing like a straight up podcast? Will you stream and then put it on the show? Are you guys editing and putting stuff on there?
We were basically treating our live show streams like podcasts. So then we would download the audio and we would put them out as like a podcast.
So they were raw and authentic.
Yes, and then sometimes there would be stuff lost in translation if we were like looking at like an image on like the
But
stream
I like
or
that
something.
because you were like, this is who we are.
Yeah, well, we just wanted to get out content. Like I was like, just fire it out.
How much is coming out at this point?
At that point, like something like on a podcast episode basis. So we've always had Trainwreck Tonight, which we've made a once like a week episode. So that was always happening. And then we've kind of had iterations of like Buffalo football and Buffalo hockey podcasts.
Yeah.
So like those have like been frequent to infrequent, but over the last about 2 to 3 years have really locked in, like with the personnel we have.
What I like about what you guys do on a serious tip, like with no joke, the authenticity, and everyone tries to grip authenticity, right? It's how you separate yourself from everybody else. Your stuff's authentic. You can't say you're authentic, and you guys don't.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. Like you just do it, I find the people who are saying authentic generally are not. It's like there's the lions and the sheep. You guys are out on your own. You guys are doing your thing. And you kind of have it like, if you don't like it, turn it off.
I mean,
is that fair to say?
Yes. So the perfect example to me is, we had a full setup, like we had a full accoutrement, shout out John Anderson at Super Bowl Media Week, where we could have gone, we would have been able to get passes and had access. Yeah. And had everything. So we were rooting for the Bills so hard. I was like, oh my God, please let the Bills win. Of course, that didn't come to fruition. So they're like, are you still going? Everything. I couldn't bring myself to take our organization there. I know that we're a media organization.
The platter was still there.
We could have gone and been amongst the Chiefs and Eagles fans.
Wow.
And it was definitely something I'm still battling with to this very moment. But
I get it.
I just couldn't have been down there. What would I have been saying? The Chiefs suck.
I get it.
They beat us. I would have rooted for the Eagles. I definitely would have angled it let's go Philly and stuff like that. But I just couldn't bring myself to be obviously you're leveraging costs. We were flying someone in from Chicago. Someone was going to go with me. We were going to stay at Airbnb for 5 nights or whatever. That was going to be a lot very costly. And I'm just
it's an opportunity that knocked. And I think, and I don't want to speak for you, but going inside your brain, you might have been like, why don't we wait until we are there? Because then we can go do it right.
I want to do it right. And I just felt like that's perfectly, because I feel like there's no right way to do what we had before us. We would have everyone's different. Some people are there to book just to draw attention to their business.
Sure.
We're a media company for base in Buffalo with Buffalo Ideals, everything like that. And going down in the face of Kansas City just would have felt disingenuous. Like you said, just on that.
And I get it. It's tough now. I'll start the show and say to somebody hey, did you watch the Super Bowl? Or before, prior to that, it was, did you watch the Bills game? And I did have a couple of Chiefs fans. And it's a tough pill to swallow. We take football really personal in this town.
All our sports. We're numb to the Sabres.
The Sabres, I think, just have been bad. I love the Sabres.
Well, we're super numb to it.
We are.
07, we were, going nuts. Yeah.
That year we started 20-0 or something.
That was 06, 07. We started 10-0. That was crazy.
Now you want to talk about energy though, man, because people think about these players like Tage or these guys. They don't know how big of a hockey town hockey is.
We're just talking about it on our Crossing Swords podcast. I was saying that when they won 10 games in a row in 18-19, that was 70 to 80% of that. But it was getting there.
Yeah, I agree.
I just feel they're in a rut. They're in a big time rut, the Sabres.
It's tough. Even this year they were playing well.
Yeah.
And then they lost 13
Fell off
games
a
in a row.
cliff.
They literally I think we had a winning record and we lost 13 games in a row. And I'll tell you what, man, I go to the games now. My son plays travel hockey, he loves it. there's probably, I don't care what they announce. There's probably 7,000 people there.
Yeah. I mean, it's great.
The thing is you can sit wherever you want.
Yeah, of course. Sitting is a luxury.
You have a good job pacing yourself. You know, in looking you and studying you, and one of the things I really define myself with is kind of being able to read people, right?
Yeah.
It's almost a psychology to
You a big
it.
poker player?
No.
Okay.
I'm not, but I know where you're going. And you have a very good job. You're out of focus and you bring it, you reel it in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I get out of focus very
I look
quickly.
at you like a pair of binoculars, and you know where you have that little screw thing, and you're going in and out. But then you find it and you make it work, man. And trust me, it's a compliment.
Oh no,
Not many
believe
people do
me,
that.
I totally get it. I'm all over the place. My brain can sometimes go to a thought and I won't be able to reel it in. But yeah, of course.
But you know,
I
the
try to
space
keep
cadets,
that
you
focus.
talk to a space cadet and they're out, so they'll start there and then they finish and you're like, what is it? You bring it in.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you gotta land it somehow, or at least make it seem like you land.
You landed. It's safe. Maybe you're a Martian. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. It's like a movie, right? A movie can be not great, but it can have a great ending. Saves the whole thing.
Facts. These are facts, right?
Yes.
So how many of the originals are with you now?
So see, like that's the thing. We're talking about me, Degenerate Al, Gopher, Elbers, EJ Supreme, IB. Like they've all graduated, they've moved on. But like we have people in the organization now who have been there for about 5 years, 5 years-ish. So we have, Jake Micah, we have Mike Bunt, we have Slick Saturday, we have producer Donnie Dreamboat.
The names are all dope.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's something.
Have you ever been, or has anyone ever said, yeah, you guys just want to be like Barstool? Do you ever get that? And what is your response?
Well, it's the easiest, it's the lowest hanging fruit I've realized to poke you. Because unfortunately, besides the raw output and kind of just like we cover everything. Yeah. Like that's kind of, I don't want to say that's where they end. Like obviously Barstool's hyper successful. Who wouldn't want to their business to be like Barstool when you look at how successful
it's a nice blueprint. It's a nice
media.
Blueprint.
Like, oh my God, you look at anyone in entertainment trying to launch anything or promote anything.
Correct.
They're working Barstool into their like media, like just like they would work any other promotional like aspect of it for sure. So we want to be able to be that vehicle for like local businesses. We want to be able to be that vehicle for local people who maybe don't get enough attention and kind of go like in that direction, honestly. Just like let's keep this engine going.
The reason I asked that question, it doesn't seem to bother you. People can think whatever they want to think, right?
Well,
and on the contrary, you're actually saying, who wouldn't want to be them, right?
I mean, to be honest, it would bother me more if someone randomly, like on a non-burner account, like actually came with like a fact or something. You know what I mean? Like conjecture, all this stuff. We've seen it all in the internet days. Like you've seen it. I mean, come on, you don't get to 5 figures of anything on the internet without seeing like a little bit of craziness come your direction.
A lot of negativity.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, it's like it's very easy to be negative, right? And then the thing is, that you realize along the way. And again, listen, you're going to do things that do deserve a negative reaction. You're going to do things that aren't the best.
Well, we're humans.
Of course. But the thing I realize a lot along the way is that sometimes people will watch something and they'll be like, that was good. And then they'll look away or they'll scroll to their next one. They don't type out in the tweet, that was good. And then send the tweet. Whereas then 1 out of 100 tweets like, you guys are out of focus, audio sucks.
Let me ask you this. If you go out to eat.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're a dessert dude or not. Let's say you get a dessert and you have the best piece of pie you've ever eaten in your life. Okay. How many times are you gonna go on and be like, this pie was the best pie I've ever had? But if you go to that same restaurant and there's a dog tooth in your hamburger.
Not dog tooth.
Not dog hair, dog tooth.
Dog tooth. Big old. I was gonna say, I knew you were.
As of more recently, I'm trying to make my life about deposits and withdrawals. And just, you see somebody tell them they look nice or something, right? Deposit.
It's like,
I mean, really.
It's just so easy. It's so
easy. It's so easy to deposit. But back to that. They always have to say something negative.
Of course.
Like, why? Why as a society do we feel like the first thing we should do is insult you? So you do something that's different.
Now, just to be clear too, like, I think like you would say you've done it. I would say I've done it. Like, we've all done it. Like, there's something like, I don't know what it is about our DNA as a society or something, but like the more hyper successful something is, you like want to poke holes in it. I don't know why it is. Like, I think maybe it's partially because we're like, are like, we're kind of like, before we even realize it,
jealousy?
like, we wish we did it. Like,
Right,
that's
right.
really all it is.
Yeah, and it's
like
like the
that's really-
psychological.
and again, but that happens, that it all in your brain before you even know it, right? And then the
Reaction.
next thing you know, you're just like, this sucks. Right? Sure. Like, it all happens very quickly. So like, yeah, like, and again, like, M has like, oh my God, there have been more things wrong with Trainwreck ever than could ever be pointed out. But it's just so funny the way it breaks down and some of the reactions and how it goes. It's insane.
Yeah, you and I are sitting here because I want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
So your positivity and your positives, man, are always going to outweigh. I'm a big karma universe guy, man. I feel like you're supposed, you're where you're supposed to be right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're killing it with it, man. You're doing a really good job. I mean that straight up. Where do you see it? Like, how far do you want to take this?
A lot of it is, like the biggest compliment that I would say, without naming any names or whatever, is that like to have some of the business owners that we've worked with, or to have like other business owners reach out and be like, you should just manage our stuff or whatever. Cause like, obviously we all think, in a cocky way, I say this, that we're entertaining, or that what we're doing is funny, or that there's value in what we're putting out there. But it's obviously like, I think that there are a lot of people out there that can be entertaining. There's a lot of people out there that can be funny, put TikToks out, everything like that.
Sure.
Part of it is the organization, the follow through, the consistency or whatever that, builds up that extra aspect of it. It's like having, like anyone can have one good pitch in the MLB or whatever, but you have to have that mix. You have to be able to kind of work on it. I think that is like probably,
You can't throw a fastball every time.
that's probably the recognition that I look for more than anything. Like, yeah, I would love if, like, truthfully, we had a video where it was when the stadium got snowed in, and like ESPN was like, let us use that or whatever. Sports Illustrated felt great, but like at the end of the day, like 1 week in, and then like nothing ever happened again. So it's like,
what have you done for me lately, kind of thing, right?
You golf a lot?
I don't.
Okay.
I used to.
You golf at all?
3 kids.
Okay. Oh yeah, true. Okay. So
I used to. Any analogy I'm going to follow.
Okay. So my only point being that like, yeah, anyone can hit a good golf shot, like make one great post or whatever. But really, the beauty of like being good at golf or whatever is like the replicability. Just like
putting a round
baseball,
together.
just like any sport.
Putting a round
truly,
together.
yes.
Yeah.
Putting 18 holes together for sure. Like, is what you did, are you able to do it on the next shot, etc. That's really more like what I'm chasing after for sure. It's just that consistency.
Sense. I was talking to somebody yesterday or a couple days ago about golf. It's funny you mentioned it. And we were talking about how you always play your best golf by yourself. And this isn't even like a fake thing. Like, have you ever played by yourself?
Yeah.
I have once or twice. And it was like the best golf ever of my life.
It's just you.
There's
no psychological aspect.
Did the tree make any noise when it fell in the woods, right? So this dude, he's like, man, I shot an 82 or so. It was his best ever. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because nobody was there to see it.
Yeah.
None of your buddies saw it. You didn't shoot it.
Yeah, it
you officially never shot it.
Got an asterisk.
Right? There's an asterisk. Yeah. What's your favorite thing about Trainwreck, man? What's your favorite thing about doing what you do?
Just the excitement that anybody has. Like, sometimes that's tough to see. Like, yeah, I love to see it in the post likes, or like people share it or get excited about it. But like when we do a live event, or like we did the Kitten Bowl 2 weeks ago, and the Kitten Bowl.
Please dive in.
Indulge me. So we got that happened in the Orchard Park in the South Towns. We have kittens from 10 Lives Club.
Roll them down like bowling?
No, we got a field and everything.
So you guys were using kittens to bowl?
Yeah, no. The kittens were running around the field, and when they
use the palm
when they took a toy to the end zone, it was a touchdown.
So the kittens, how did they run it in?
If they touched the toy in the end zone, touchdown.
They just had to touch it.
But oh my God, people were jumping out of their gourds.
It's a cool thing because you're contributing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're contributing to society. You're out doing something.
I think everybody
wishes charity or something. I saw 10 lives. Yeah.
Yes, I think everybody wishes that they could have it like their family event. Like, let's say you play like your family football game at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like, don't you wish you could have like 20% of like a broadcast crew there, like just like documenting. Of course, that's what I'm saying. So like, I feel like everybody wants that for things they're passionate about, and that's what I get excited about.
I like that, man. It's a good analogy, and kind of thinking like we all think that our game is the best game.
Of course.
Do you guys have one of those football games in the?
We used to. Everyone kind of got a little too old, and then my brother and sister are of the younger generation. They still wanted to play because they're, turned up, and I'm just like, no, I'm out.
Yeah, well, I'm the same way. It's I got the knees. It's always I want to know if there's that one guy who takes it too seriously, like in the.
Oh, of course, it's me.
Okay, you're the
guy. And that's why I had to stop.
So we used to do a turkey bowl. First of all, we're grown men playing without pad. Like, what are we thinking?
Crazy,
right?
Crazy.
Any grown man playing high, full contact, but there's
so unnecessary.
It's glory days. They got the full compression sleeves.
Well, it's like and it's only something that would happen around Turkey Bowl time, because it's like if you did it in March, you would just be like, what are we doing?
You got to turn it up for the Turkey Bowl, and you got to make sure everyone knows that you were a linebacker in high school.
Yes.
So you got to pick up the smallest dude. and just spike them to the ground.
You got to remind them.
That's how you got to do it. This was fun, man.
I had a great time.
Thanks a lot, man. This was
Appreciate
awesome.
you,
A lot of fun.
Fun.
Zach Sheldon, guys, Trainwreck Sports, over and out.
This is Big D Tire. Big D Tire sells tires for less money than the competition. I cannot make it any more simple than that. Big D Tire is where you want to go to buy your tires. Moneyball highly recommends Big D Tire. Orchard Park, New York. Big D.